Have you guys heard about this crazy situation happening with Spotify? Allegedly, Spotify is in the recruitment game. Spotify has been running ICE advertisements in the US. You know, when you pay for Spotify, or if you don't pay for it, or whatever tier you were in, they usually run some adverts in between some songs you're listening to. Well, they're running an ICE advertisement on fucking Spotify. And it's legitimately blowing my mind. This is fucking crazy. Listen to this clip. Listen to this recording somebody made from their car radio.
Predators. Join the mission to protect America with bonuses up to $50,000 and generous benefits. Apply now. Join.ice.gov and fulfill your mission.
One more time. Fulfill your mission,
Predators.
you know.
Join the mission to protect America with bonuses up to $50,000 and generous benefits. Apply now. Join.ice.gov and fulfill your mission.
Fulfill your mission, you know. Join right now. Absolutely flipping crazy. It kind of legitimately feels like they're going out of their way to alienate their customers. They're going out of their way to alienate their base. They're going out of their way to alienate the artists who are already on the fence about Spotify, because the founder of Spotify, Daniel Ek, has been involved in actively invested in weapons companies and shit. And if I'm not mistaken, those weapons companies are using some of those weapons in flipping Israel are using some of those weapons against the Palestinians and shit. So some really dicey, dodgy, really not even Scrooge McDuck. Some proper superhero villain type shit, right? Some Lex Luthor type shit. And they don't seem to be giving a fuck. So I wonder, do Spotify on there and know that for the most part, all of these artists who are usually, you'd imagine, quite left-leaning, aren't necessarily about it. And although they're going to whine and bitch and complain on social, maybe they actually won't do what needs to be done and boycott that platform en masse to kind of send a message, because this is kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fucked up. I get it, it's a government agency. I get it, it's a job they're advertising for. There's no different for them running an ad on Spotify than fucking, you know, PepsiCo or whatever else it may be. But it does kind of stand out as overly egregious, especially when you kind of, you know, think about some of the ICE raids I'm sure some of you guys have seen over the last few months. They've not been the most humane thing to see. They've been pretty traumatic to view. I'm assuming they've been horrible to go through if you're the person that's being deported in that manner, right? Very inhumane, very disruptive, very aggressive, just very unnecessarily cruel, really, in the grand scheme of things. No, I don't think, you know what's really funny about the ICE deportations? I don't think there's a lot of people now arguing that mass deportations there isn't a problem with like illegal immigration. I don't think you're going to find even a left-leaning person who's going to tell you that they believe that there's no problem with illegal immigration. I think most people understand that illegal migration or illegal immigration is a problem and that you need to have a handle on it and get it right. But nobody agrees with the way they're doing it. That's what's really fucking up. Nobody's agreeing with the way the American government are trying to get it under control. Are trying to rectify the situation by pulling mothers and fathers and whatever else away from their fucking children, sometimes right in front of them, pulling people off of fucking job sites, really crazy shit. And like I said previously, I think weirdly enough, in terms of like a PR optics point of view, I think the Trump administration really missed a trick by not actually immediately wrangling all of these alleged like crime lords, these cartel bosses, right? These big drug kingpins who are allegedly illegal immigrants who also were running clandestine operations in America. If they would have addressed some big dogs that way, I think people would have been a lot more forgiving of seeing, like, you know, your fucking Tio or Tia or Abuela fucking getting arrested. But because most of the people that you're seeing getting arrested are guys and girls or men and women working on job sites, maids and stuff, people working fucking menial jobs, it's sort of like, is this the whole big push against illegal migration is just to kind of get people out of the country who you would deem to be people who probably don't, people who aren't probably the biggest issue when it comes to illegal migration, you'd imagine, right? The biggest issue would be the people that they kind of mentioned. but it's not really getting kind of sorted out. Either way, it's a really crazy thing to kind of see and to see it play out. But I'm curious to see how the artists will respond to seeing this on fucking Spotify, because it feels like Spotify every other day there's some sort of issue, there's some sort of thing that they're doing. They don't seem to give a fuck. Just the other day, actually, they ran a little special move that I kind of rated. I kind of respected the move that they did, where Daniel Ek came out and said, "I'm stepping down." Remember that whole thing? Very clever move, right? Because there was a lot of artists that were deciding to boycott Spotify, pulling their music off of the platform and shit. And Daniel Ek decided to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm stepping down as CEO of whatever, Spotify." But if you read the article, you'll see that he's stepping down from day-to-day operations, but he's still heavily involved in Spotify. He's not going anywhere. But they put it out there as a way to kind of appease people who thought Daniel Ek was the big bad wolf, right? And to kind of make sure, and to kind of let it be known that he wasn't involved daily in the business, to maybe appease some people who had boycotted the platform. But it wasn't the case. So it was a really well played move. But then now today, out of the blue, you know, it kind of gets spoken about that they allegedly have these ads running on the radio or on Spotify, and you're wondering to yourself, like, what are they doing? Are they just not caring about how it's being perceived? Are they trying to call the artist bluff? Is this just another ad to them? It doesn't, not really personal, it's business. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how it plays out. I really am curious to see how it plays out. There's an article regarding it, actually, courtesy of Consequence of Sound. Big up them. The article says Spotify continue running ICE recruitment ads as boycott grows. More boycotts are growing, but Spotify don't give an absolute FUCK. It says as follows. Let's read this article. It says Spotify has no plans to pull Department of Homeland Security ICE recruitment ads from its platform, though, as the streamer told Newsweek, listeners are welcome to give the ads a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Lols, bro. That's taking the piss. The advertisements, a quote. The advertisements is part of a broad campaign the US government is running across television, streaming, and online channels, Spotify said in the statement. The content does not violate our advertising policies. However, users can mark with the thumbs up or thumbs down to help manage their ad preferences. So they didn't even come out and say the views expressed by the American government do not reflect the views of Spotify. He just said, no, we've got it on our platform. If it's on our platform, it's like a likes count as an endorsement, and that's it. If you don't like it, you know, SUC, you know, SMD or whatever, SMD, you know, if you don't like it, SMD. Spotify users began noticing that the ICE recruitment ads earlier this week, offering $50,000 signing bonuses and prompting a wave of boycotts calls across the social media. I'm not gonna lie, in this current economy, with the job market being the way it is, it's no surprise there's so many ICE agents willing to, you know, do a madness to their fellow American citizen and kind of pull, or not fellow American, to their, you know, fellow American people, let's say, and go about and kind of take part in these raids, these abductions. $50,000 signing bonus in this economy where people are getting turned down for jobs in McDonald's and shit. People are getting, people are, who said it? I forgot what shop it was. Was it like Walmart or something? Somebody said that, somebody went viral on Twitter saying how they had to write a personal statement for a fucking job at Walmart. So if that's the case, and these guys are offering $50,000, and you get to wear a fucking shiesty, right? You get to wear a shiesty to hide your fucking identity. It's not too bad, is it? It really, really, really isn't too bad if you think about it. $50,000. I really understand. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's still crazy to do. You shouldn't probably do it. I don't think so. It's not probably going to be good for your spirit and your soul to be somebody responsible for pulling or ripping families apart in the first place, regardless of what person's status is or not. You being the person that kind of offered those things and put into action will probably not sit well with your soul and your spirit in the long term. But 50,000 signing bonus, that's not nothing. The quote here says, I get an ad and it starts with millions of dangerous illegals are rampaging the streets. Join today. Rampage? No, they're not. The illegals aren't rampaging the street. Most of them are just working a fucking dead-end, cash-in-hand job to pay for, you know, to send back home and to kind of keep a roof over their heads and their bellies full. Rampaging the streets, you know? User Miss Mia 777 posted on TikTok. I don't pick up on my phone while driving. I picked up my phone with the quickness and deleted the app. On Reddit, boycott threads have quickly climbed to the top of our music. For its part, Department of Homeland Security says the quote, the recruitment campaign is a resounding success. Similar ads have also appeared in Pandora, YouTube, Max, Hulu, and in other months. Imagine, I'm not boycotting YouTube, by the way. If there's an ICE advert on here, I'm not boycotting YouTube. If this platform turns into fucking Tory Tube, I'm not boycotting this place. If this turns into fucking, I don't know, name the person, I'm not boycotting, by the way. Just FYI. FYI, FAO. This year, Spotify has also been targeted with boycotts due to the CEO Daniel Ike's stake in a drone company called Helsing Massive Attack. Look at even the name sounds evil. Even the name sounds evil, man. Imagine the founder of fucking Spotify shares a big stake in a fucking droning company called Helsing Massive Attack. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard and Zhu, Dear Wolf, Hotline TNT, big up Hotline TNT, great little band, Godspeed You, and Black Emperor have all poured their music in protest. Helsing has issued a statement reading, in part our technology is deployed to European countries for defense and defenses against the Russian aggression in Ukraine only. So basically saying, hey, when push comes to shove, when the Russians, right, when the fucking Ruskies come over the hill, you're gonna need us. So shut the fuck up, right? That's kind of what they're saying. That's kind of what they're saying, and I kind of rate it. I'm not going to lie. I kind of fucking rate it. Let's continue. Oh, some people saying what they're saying here. Let's hear some of these TikTokers. What are they talking about?
Bunch of tyrannical billionaires wasn't enough for you to switch over and boycott Spotify. Maybe this will be enough for you. Just so you guys know, you can transfer playlists over to places like Tidal and Apple Music, and you don't have to support a business that supports ICE. Not to mention the fact that your streaming quality will be higher with Apple Music or Tidal or pretty much any other streaming service. So yeah, boycott Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify is mad quiet, by the way. Spotify is mad low the volume. I do use it for my indie music sort of vibe. Like I've got a subscription on Spotify and Apple Music. I mostly use Apple Music for my main music library sort of organization or playing whatever. But I do use Spotify for the odd podcast listen, for again like more stuff aimed towards the other alternative genres outside of rap and shit. I definitely listen to it on my Spotify, so that's why I usually mainly do it. But I do notice a difference, even with my noise cancelling headphones. I do notice a dip in quality in terms of loudness when it comes to Spotify and Apple. Honestly do. Honestly do. No, thank you. Yeah, background, too much background noise. But big up Ice, big up Blood Clot Ice, and somebody on the indie music Reddit said the following. This is quite funny, by the way. Spotify agents are not answering ICE related questions and are ending the conversation. I think this is kind of funny, I'm not going to lie. This person spoke to somebody on the ICE customer support, and they said, hi, I've read the Spotify's advertising ICE commercials. Is this true? If so, I would like to cancel my subscription. And then the conversation just ended straight away. So I guess ICE agents have been told not to communicate any customers, even via the online chat, regarding to the fucking ICE deportations and shit. It's pretty fucking crazy. Honestly, it's pretty fucking gnarly. It's pretty fucking gnarly. And then there's this really cool article too, courtesy of The Guardian, about King Gizzard. It says King Gizzard Stu McKenzie on leaving Spotify and making all their music free. Sometimes you forget that you have free will. I fucking love this, by the way. Let's quickly check out what they're saying here. Over their mind-boggling 15-year, 27-album career. Wow, King Gizzard been around for that long. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard have switched gears, and the speed abandoned for the stunt drivers in the Fast and Furious film can't even describe the six-piece psychedelic rock band anymore. Their music to date has encompassed metal, folk, jazz, dance music. They've experimented with dense concept records and microtonal tunings. In July, King Gizzard made their latest hairpin turn, removing all their music from Spotify in protest of CEO Daniel Ek's investment from firm Prima Matera, putting 600 million euros into the AI military tech firm called Helsing. Ek is also Helsing's chairman. Fucking hell. We have done a lot of different things over the years, but sometimes you just forget that you have free will. You can do whatever you want in these spaces, says the frontman, which I agree. Definitely that is something that needs to be reminded. A lot of these artists, like, you can just do things on your own, quote unquote, put on your own shows, not be managed by anybody else, and take the whatever full cut, whatever the cut of whatever you're making on the door, and kind of go from there. It doesn't always have to be this strenuous relationship where you're beholden by these streaming platforms, beholden by these clubs, beholden by these labels. So I love that the fucking veil was removed from their eyes. I fucking love it. It's gonna be harder for her, of course, because I think she's gonna be in a, you know, it's gonna harder for them in general when they offer Spotify King Gizzard, but it's still a noteworthy and commendable stance that they're taking. I'm not going to lie. What else? I don't particularly want to try to put a movement or anything like that. I'm happy with the other people joining, but for us it was a decision about our music and decision about what we think is right and what we think is not right. We decided we're not going to walk and deal with the consequences any better. The parties before Milan, also which ones there, been many. The move has inspired by Leah Senior, another Melbourne musician who's close friends with the collaborator of the group. We had a couple of hours living as well, but it was when Leah left, she and I had this conversation about it. I told her I was really proud of her and I thought it was an awesome thing. I kind of became a beautiful thing. You look at people leaving, and that's really admirable. Courage to do the thing and different is also right. So big up Blood Clot King Gizzard, man. Big up Blood Clot King Gizzard. Absolutely crazy situation all around. Hopefully Spotify get their act together. Hopefully Spotify gets their act together.